Welcome to another edition of Melvin's Real Estate Tip of the Week. I'm Melvin Burrell, broker associate with eXp Realty. Today we're going to talk about escrow. Now, what is an escrow? Escrow is a term that refers to a third party hired to handle property transaction between a buyer and seller. It's a neutral party, a middleman. In some states, an attorney acts as an escrow officer, but in the West Coast, there is normally escrow companies that take care of the escrow process. Now, this is pretty much how the process works. You have a buyer who makes an offer on a property to the seller, and an agreement is made. The buyer puts an earnest money deposit into escrow, and they go and do an inspection, and also they go and work on getting their loan. The seller, on the other hand, is working on making sure that the property is clear from any liens and anything that may affect transferring that title over to the buyer. Now, once all that is taking place, all that is going into escrow, and the escrow is like a referee making sure that everybody do what they're supposed to do. Once all that is done, then escrow closes, and that means that the cash goes from the buyer to the seller, and the seller sends the deeds, the grant deeds, over to the buyer. Now the buyer has the property, have ownership, and everybody's happy. So that's called closing escrow. Now, some people ask, well, how much money is required for an earnest money deposit to open up an escrow? Well, some states have the earnest money deposit necessary in the listing agreement. However, it's negotiable. In some states, it's 3%. So it's pretty negotiable. Worst case scenario, 3% of whatever the purchase price is. Someone asks, well, what is when an escrow falls out? Well, escrow falls out when the buyer and seller don't agree on terms. And whenever that happens, the buyer can walk away, the seller can walk away. And in most cases, the seller will put the house back on the market and the buyer goes and look for another house. If you enjoyed this weekly real estate tip, please click the subscribe button below so that you can get more weekly real estate tips right to your mailbox. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.